We're good.
Okay. Hey, kids, we are back. And this is our first interview on Zoom. So, kids, you're looking at Dr. Lynne Kenney. She is in Arizona right now. And Dr. Kenney, I'll tell you a lot more about her when we get back to school. But I'm going to let her tell you about herself right now. Dr. Kenney, tell the kids about who you are and why. Just tell the kids about yourself.
Okay, well, kids, it's great to meet you. I love interacting with the kids all around the United States and the world. We have our own lab schools here in Arizona who are fourth grade. So I hang out with kids your age all the time. I'm a pediatric psychologist, and I basically develop cognitive motor programs to help kids think better, and even adults. We're moving into adults as well. So I work in my own practice with wonderful, wonderful, smart children who have dyslexia and ADHD and executive function uniquenesses. And we do these motor programs in order to engage their attention, memory, self-control, flexibility. And you can do these programs as well. Now, I understand from Mr. Harte that you're already doing coordinative cognitive movement. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it's so important. Does that sound good, Mr. Harte?
That's fantastic.
Okay.
I think that's great. Now I know that you have seen the kids in action.
I have.
Talk to them about what you saw. Just what is your impression of it?
My impression is that you guys are exuberant and vibrant and full of energy, and that when you move in these coordinative patterns, be they dance or stomping or clapping or drumming, whatever you're doing, you're actually enlivening the dopaminergic system in your brain, so you're becoming more alert and you're becoming more ready to learn. The other thing that I saw about you guys is that you're doing these really unique patterns and sequences. So a pattern is something that repeats, like clap, tap, clap, tap. And then a sequence is when you put those patterns together. And I observed right away that you guys were creating really cool, novel patterns and sequences that also were engaging your brain. So over time, my question for you is, are you observing that learning is getting easier for you? When you're working with Mr. Harte in your PE class, I'm thinking it probably translates into your academic learning. So we might chat about that in the future.
Oh, that's wonderful. And also, Dr. Kenney, we have Coach Anderson, Ryan Anderson. He's also known as the Eagle Man. We're the Cypress Woods Eagles. Yeah. He's the Eagle Man, and he's our superhero. And we have Mrs. Crispin, Miss Clark, and Miss Evans. They're all our PE associates, and we have a great team. And we all work real well together. And I wanted to say to you that I wanted to ask you. You're talking to some future teachers and some future coaches and some future leaders right now. Mm-hmm. What, at that 9, 10, 11 years old, what is important for them to think about if they're leaning in that direction? Because some of them already are.
Yeah. So you mean, what should we add to the PE classes for this age group in order to improve their cognition and learning?
Well, that would be actually great. And I didn't even think to ask that smart question. What I was looking for was just like any words of wisdom or advice or encouragement that you might have for kids that are thinking of being teachers. But let's take up your question also. Let's take them both up if we could.
Okay, so I think the important thing, kids and teachers to know is that the applied neuroscientific research has really exponentially grown in the last 10 years. We have new technology. So things that I thought 30 years ago, and I would talk to my colleagues at Yale or at Harvard where I trained, and I would say, I don't know, you guys, I could be correct. I could be wrong. Well, we now have evidence, not that I'm correct, but that from multiple fields, kinesiology, cognitive science, that movement, one, physical activity definitely improves your health. 2, when you move in coordinative rhythmic patterns, it definitely engages cognition. We don't know yet if it improves executive function. That's the next stage of research. So what I want to tell you about, if you're going into PE or education, we need to keep our arts, our dance, our music, and our PE alive. And we need to integrate these things, Mr. Harte, just as you do, into PE. And the one little thing, if I were speaking like it's shape, I would say there's one little thing you can do, and Mr. Harte, you're already doing it. And that is think in 8s, not 10s. The body's very rhythmic. We walk rhythmically. We talk rhythmically. You and I are being rhythmic right now, just talking back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And the body knows 4/4 time. We can do other time signatures too, but let's just start with 4/4. So as an example, if I go to physical therapy for my shoulder, I'm counting in eights. And they're like, are you done? I'm like, I am. I'm having so much fun. So, you know, enjoy the music. Use music that's got a beat that you can actually move on the beat. And I say, do something on the downbeat, whether it's stomp, clap, tap, whatever it is, throw a ball. I was in New York and I saw a teacher, a PE teacher, teaching the kids, they were like first graders, how to bounce a tennis ball on a racket. And they were all counting in tens. And I said, can I introduce a little concept? Do you mind? And he was like, no, sure. And I was like, let's go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again, 1 and 2. And all the kids learned it much faster. So that is you don't even have to read the science. You don't even have to get fancy. Just move and think in 8 counts.
That's awesome. You know, isn't that a lot of things are simple.
It's easy.
A lot of things are simple. We experience that. We do a lot of our skill training to music, a lot of it, and then we adjust the tempo of the music to make it more difficult or less, depending on what the activity is. And
I don't know how you got so ahead of the curve. I mean, that is brilliant. Changing the tempo is exactly how you engage more cognition. When I talk to teachers, they often think, oh, I've got to put spelling on top of it or math on top of the movement, and you can, but you don't have to. Just doing something slowly and practicing it and rehearsing it and then performing it quickly, that is engaging cognition.
You know, are you familiar with a song by Vince Gill called "Go Rest High on That Mountain"?
I probably am.
I'm gonna play it for you. Every kid at our school knows this song because we always start on this simple, slow song until they get it. And everybody has time to get the steps right. Every kid at our school has heard this song 50 times or more.
I would really be honored to borrow this concept from you in our lab school when we all go back to school, because I think that's brilliant. Because I teach them, first we teach without music only because I need these kids to internalize. A lot of my kids have uniquenesses, and so I need them to internalize beat competency. But I adore the idea. I'll even use your song if you wish. And then maybe we can all share a video of our class and your class one day.
Oh my gosh, what a great idea. In fact, we have this friend in England, Ryan Ellis. He runs this PE Umbrella podcast. You should be on that. And we were going to do a transatlantic class. He's picked up on all of this music stuff. Okay. He has actually got his kids doing the things that we're doing, and our kids were going to teach his kids one of our routines. And he himself was going to teach our kids all over Skype. This was going to happen before we had to go home. This was set up for the end of March. So what I'm saying all this is, why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we do that together? I want to.
We can, and we can get more classrooms. Do you know that our stuff that right now is being piloted in 35 classrooms in 25 countries? And the funnest thing is when we do something with the Chinese, or we can start with us, but imagine that your class could have an impact on the health and cognition of children all around the world. That would be pretty fun.
That would be amazing. See, this is what I say to the kids. I say, there's not too many people to be able to take it to that next step and actually reach out and say, hey, here's what we're doing. And you know, I love it. Dr. Kenney, I'm so glad we spoke. Thank you for your time. I know you're busy.
Hey, my honor. It's my honor. We will stay in touch, and I'll get you some brain primers. Moving Minds is going to launch, my friend Mike Kazala. He and I made brain primers. They're not coming out till July or August, but we're launching 8 of them for free to support our unique community situation right now. And as soon as it's made, they're all printed and everything, but the actual document's not made. As soon as it's made, I'll get it to you guys.
Beautiful. And if you or any of your colleagues come to the Tampa Bay area, you've got to get over to our school and see what we're doing. I think you'd love it.
I would love to do that.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
really appreciate it.
Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
You too.
Bye, kids. Have a great day, everybody.